Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to describe a theory that I've been working with for a little bit about a common question that people have about creating their own sessions and listening to other sessions or whatever, but specifically creating your own sessions because you have full control. Is what pitch does pitch matter? What pitch should the binaural beat be, or the monaural beat be, or even isochronic tones? Does pitch matter? And the general rule is that if it's a comfortable range of a pitch, then it's acceptable. If it's too high or too low beyond the level of your headphones, which these days most of them go really super low, then that could be a problem. Now, see, that's one thing with, something like these solfeggio frequencies or whatever that people want to use. They're really high, most of them. I mean, 528 is kind of high. 996 is really high. That's piercing. I can't stand to listen to just a single tone that is that high. Um, I prefer lower range audio, so 110 or 120. Most like my workstation defaults at 180. So somewhere in those ranges are more comfortable. However, you may also want to uh, match it to the pitch of your music, which I have another video on how to do that. So if it clashes, if you have a music track and it clashes with the music track, then that itself is a problem. However, I've been working on some different theories about personalized pitches that may have an effect, may have an impact. All right. And the most obvious type of personalized pitch is the sound of our own voice, or by extension, the sound of a loved one's voice, our mother's voice, our baby's voice. Uh, baby's tones are kind of high, but uh, you know, whatever. Our dog's whine or something. I don't know. Just a personalized type of sound that is related to a people. There's always the saying that people love to hear their own voice or hear their own name. Is a sales tactic. You're supposed to repeat the person's name over and over again because there's nothing better they like to hear than their own name, that kind of thing. So, all right, what if we then extract a key component of the sound of our name, say the prominent vowel sound in our name, and analyze the pitch of that and use that as an entrainment pitch? And again, you could also do that with other sources, your mother's voice or what have you. I mentioned those. And that could be interesting. So anyway, I started looking for software where I could do stuff like that. Besides just analysis software, you could do it in a bunch of different pieces of software with a spectral analyzer. But this particular piece of software, Overtone Analyzer, is really nice. Now, I haven't bought it. It's kind of a little on the expensive side because you're going to need at least the live version of it uh, to get useful things. There is a free version where you can have 10 seconds, but you can't do the fundamental pitch display, which is important. So the live version looks like it would be it, and it has quite a few features for transcribing melodies and stuff that I would use as a musician, so I could justify the purchase. Whether you could or not would depend on you. There's probably other pieces of software, and I'll continue to explore those to see. But let's see what I'm talking about here. All right, so here I have a demo version, prominently displayed demo version of Overtone Analyzer, the live version. And you can see it's going to record what I say. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say my name, like Scott, Scott, Scott. All right, and we're going to record that. Scott, 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 Scott. All right, so there's just various samples of it. Now you can see that it's picking this fundamental vowel pitch down here. Now these are formants. This thing is designed to analyze audio or analyze voice and instruments and formants. That's why it's really super cool. But it makes it so easy to pick out that fundamental tone. You can see it as the blue line down here, and then as I hover over it, it'll tell me down at the bottom that that's 113 hertz. This one, it'll pop to a key point. It looks like it'll snap to an area. I just started using this 114 hertz on that one. I'm trying to get the top of the blue line. So 113 hertz. So these 110 hertz that I like so much, surprisingly, are really close to the overtone of my voice, 113, the primary tone of my voice. Now here's the T's up here. Scott. It's kind of the tuh sound. That's the formants. So that's pretty cool. There's like a tuh sound. So what if I just went and created a audio entrainment track that was, 113 hertz or so, 118 hertz, around that area. And here's a setup for that. So let's just say 113. You could probably hear it on the recording. I didn't really hear it that well through computer speakers, but that would be a monaural beat. So what if I use that for my entrainment frequency? That would be pretty cool. And then what if you went through and you said words like, peace or love? Words that have an emotional meaning to you. Peace, love. Then does it turn out that in normal speech, are your vowels within a certain emotional range around the same note? So A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. Let me analyze that real quick. Let me undo all that. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. That's just two samples. And so, you'd go through then and look to see if there was a comparison. Now, a professionally trained voice person should be able to reproduce that perfectly each time. But is there a characteristic pitch associated with each one of those, or characteristic shape? You can actually see there's a waveform too. So anyway, these are just theoretical things, but it's much more than just pulling a pitch out of your hat and, picking any random arbitrary pitch. These are personalized, meaningful pitches that could be used for entrainment. And that's something certainly worth investigating, and to see if it has an effect on creating more powerful and interesting sessions for you. So that's just a random thought spilling out of my brain.